Hello and welcome. Campbell here from Autodidactic. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And just thought we'd have a bit of a chat about the whole pyramid thing and some other information that's come out in the last week regarding it and, try and figure out what's going on here, right? We all know that they have found structures, or they claim to have found structures, 8 big pillars underneath the Giza complex, and they seem to be centered under the Pyramid of Khafre, which is the Great Pyramid. And there's obviously lots of conjecture. Now, this story all came from...
What a wild 24 hours.
Yeah, this has been a pretty crazy week so far. Very excited to have a chance to talk with you about it right now.
And this story actually broke on Facebook from a Facebook post, and it came from a conference. I think it was more like a UFO extraterrestrial type conference. And so all this whole story got released by one person on Facebook, and like literally within 24 hours, it had gone worldwide, right? Gone viral, as they say. So that's also an interesting point that, this has all just come from basically a paper that was given out at this conference. And it was a research paper, but there was no actual official press release. It was all done from this Facebook page.
Because there's a lot of things that are kind of very confused in the public space right now regarding where these documents came from, the entire copper project.
Yes.
So thanks for having me on here.
No, that's fine. I was the same. I found your Facebook post, which had the abstract from the press release, but I think people are getting a bit confused because they're looking for the press release. Which am I correct? That is the abstract kind of is the press release.
Yeah, it's the abstract describing basically what they're going to cover in the conference that just happened this past weekend in Italy. And so this is Corrado Malongo, Filippo Biondi, and Armando May are all doing this project. And they're friends of mine. I've been talking with them since last year about trying to help get this discovery out. They told me last year, get ready, Trevor, because March 15th, the world's going to see. So I've been preparing for this day. But what actually happened on the day was very surprising to me. And it turns out that I ended up being the source for this entire document coming out. It was actually like they sent me this document by email on Saturday morning, and so I woke up and saw it, and I said, "Okay, wow!" I was the first person to read it, and I imagined that this was being given to every one of the 900 plus attendees at the conference, who would all be sharing it that day. So I asked Armando May, I said, "Can I share this?" And he said, "Go for it." And I put it out figuring 900 other people would also, but as it turned out, I was the only one. I put it on Facebook. There wasn't any official webpage of theirs that it was released on. So a lot of people are looking for the source, and it's really just my Facebook page.
So that's how this story came to be. And of course, I mentioned Dr. Zahi Hawass in the last video and Mr. Beast, and they, have something to say about this. And as you see here, Giza Pyramid Mystery addressed by former Egyptian official. And of course, Zahi Hawass did get sacked, basically. I think it was 2011. So he's no longer the director of antiquities in Egypt. He's just this rogue, angry man trying to hold together the narrative, really. And in this, you can see Dr. Zahi Hawass, a prominent Egyptologist and former government official, has dismissed a study from a group of researchers from the Khafre project who claim there was an underground city beneath the pyramids of Giza as fake news. So I'll leave the link for this if you want to go through the whole article. But basically, Zahi Hawass saying this is fake is probably evidence that, that there's something there, right? And Mr. Beast is back, and he offers to explore the Giza pyramids amid new claims. So he did make a video of him running around the Great Pyramid, even swimming in the water, the crystal clear water that's underneath the Great Pyramid. And now he wants to go back and explore these, whatever's underneath it, right? These columns or a machine, whatever it might be, or maybe there's nothing, right? But this whole story reminds me of the halls of Amenti. And of course, the halls of Amente are supposed to be these halls, basically the record halls, where all the records of the old world are supposed to be kept. And there's many stories. One of the most famous is from Edgar Cayce back in the 30s, saying that these halls of Amente were underneath the front paws of the giant sphinx. And he actually said that there was going to be a door discovered under the right paw where you could get down. So is this part of the same structure that they've found? Because as you can see, everyone's starting to talk about the halls of Amente, the records basically of the old world. So, what are we talking here? Are we talking soft disclosure? The energy is rising, right? The charge is changing. So those in power that are empowered by the natural energies of this realm are now losing energy. The negative people who have been in charge, right, because they've had the negative charge, they are now losing their power because the charge is changing to positive. So it's now going to be the positive people that are going to be empowered, right, and in power. So is this what's going on in the background? Is this all soft disclosure? Because there's been a lot coming out this year, especially about plasma, UFOs. What are UFOs? A lot of people aren't believing that story anymore. They're looking into USOs and subterranean civilizations, things like this. So it's very interesting because the FBI have been looking into these orbs, these, UFOs or UAPs, whatever you want to call them, for quite a while. So this is an FBI document. You can see this is the address. And it reads, "This memorandum is respectfully addressed to certain scientists of distinction, to important aeronautical and military authorities, to a number of public officials, and to a few publications. The writer has little expectation that anything of import will be accomplished by this gesture, the more fact that the data herein were obtained by so-called persons addressed. Nevertheless, it seems a public duty to make it available. The present writer has several university degrees and was formerly a university department head. A very serious situation may develop at any time with regard to the flying saucers." Now, this is from 1947, by the way. Here's the date, July 8th, 1947. "If one of these should be attacked, the attacking plane will almost certainly be destroyed. In the public mind, this might create near panic and international suspicion. The principal data concerning these craft is now at hand and must be offered, no matter how fantastic and unintelligible it may seem to minds not previously instructed in thinking of this type." Okay, so part one. Part of the disc carry crews, others are under remote control. So there you go. Some of these discs are drones, some of them are manned. Their mission is peaceful. The visitors contemplate settling on this plane. Okay, that says plane. Let's just go in for it. Contemplate settling on this plane. Okay, quite interesting. Doesn't say planet, it says plane. These visitors are human-like, but much larger in size. All right, giants. They are not excarnate Earth people, so they're not people that have left Earth, but come from their own world. They do not come from from any planet. And as you can see, they've written the word planet there, and that's different to the word plane here. So they do not come from any planet as we use this word, but from an etheric planet which interpenetrates with our own and is not perceptible to us. The bodies of the visitors and the craft also automatically materialize on entering the vibratory rate of our dense matter. The discs possess a type of radiant energy or a ray which will easily disintegrate any attacking ship. They re-enter the etherics at will and so simply disappear from our vision without trace. The region from which they come is not the astral plane, but corresponds to the lokas or talas. Students of esoteric material will understand these terms. So there you go, lokas and talas. They probably cannot be reached by radio, but probably can be by radar if a signal system can be devised for that apparatus. We give information and warning and can do no more. Let the newcomers be treated with every kindness unless their discs are withdrawn. I'm not sure what that says, with which our culture and sciences are incapable of, again, not sure what that says, unraveling maybe. A heavy responsibility rests upon the few in authority who are able to understand. So there you go. Basically, this is a document, like I said, it's FBI. I'll leave the link below. And it's saying that these, UFOs, UAPs, orbs, whatever, are coming from an alternate reality, basically, a different dimension. And that's how they are zapping into our reality and out again. It's all basically frequency. So I found that pretty interesting. So orbs, we've seen them all over the place, and they are definitely attached to the pyramid story. There's been so many sightings of orbs around pyramids. I've actually seen some. I've seen the video of them, not live, but up in Serbia at the Ertan Pyramid. I saw live video of all these orbs, right, popping out. There's stories everywhere around there of orbs. There's also stories of orbs being seen around most pyramids, right? Giza, South America, all these other ones, they all have these sightings of orbs around them, this plasma, or are they UFOs? Are they people from a different dimension, maybe? Not sure.
Right, we've got a strange piece of footage coming from Egypt, and there's a strange object floating over the pyramids of Giza in Egypt, right? So this orb type thing kind of travels across and then splits off into these multiple different things. And we're just going to watch a piece of footage here and kind of analyse what's going on. It looks diamondish. You've got like an orb here, another one above that. Is it on fire? Is this something burning up and then kind of splitting off?
Oh my god, what on earth is going on?
But then there's also something following it from above as well. It's kind of tracking it, and then it splits off, right? And then notice the movement patterns as well, okay? It's breaking off, it's moving, and then things on the backside kind of go backwards and then float off behind it.
I feel like they're actual.
I don't know, man. Or is this something more? What is that about? You guys let me know, man.
Oh my god.
And just as a side note, I found this when I was doing a bit of digging, and this is real. This is an art installation, a sculpture that was put, as you can see, at Giza, just near the pyramids, and done by an artist called Spy. Spy's chrome steel orb reflects Giza pyramids and ancient Egyptian symbology. Set against the historic backdrop of the Great Pyramids of Giza, urban designer Spy conceives a large chrome steel and glass orb, capturing and encompassing vistas and sky in dazzling fragmented reflections. The new installation, titled Orb Under the Same Sun, fuses heritage with contemporary art, drawing on Egyptian culture with its spherical form and specular surface, echoing elements of classic Egyptian mathematics, symbolism, and notions of creation and rebirth. The artwork explores the distant past to the present to imagine the future of humanity as part of art. The Egypt's group exhibition Forever is Now I just found that a bit interesting, how it's talking about from the past to the present, forever is now. Has that got some kind of tie with ancient knowledge being revealed or being found? Let me know in the comments. And China actually detected plasma bubbles. As you can see, China's radar with 5,900-mile range detects plasma bubbles over Giza. Chinese scientists used a powerful LARID radar in Hainan to detect plasma bubbles over the Egyptian pyramids and the Midway Islands, nearly 6,000 miles apart. So that's pretty interesting that they're detecting plasma as well. All these plasma anomalies that are connected to the pyramids around the world, and including the Great Pyramid at Giza, may point to the fact that they have got something to do with energy, right? That they are some kind of energy machine or ether harvesting machines, or maybe they're giving out the energy. Maybe they're creating the energy a different way and they're giving it out. But either way, they do seem to be connected with energy, as far as being an energy generator of some kind, or built on natural energy ley line points, which could give credence to the discovery made, right? It could be part of a machine, part of what makes these pyramids run. We just don't know. But another thing that's connected to all this, did you know that the Great Pyramid, the sarcophagus in the King's Chamber, the inside is said to fit the Ark of the Covenant perfectly? As we can see in this article, it says the word ark comes from the Hebrew word aron, which means a chest or box. Its dimensions are described by the Bible as 2.5 cubits by 1.5 by 1.5 cubits, or 45 inches by 27 by 27 inches. Curiously, this is the exact volume of the stone chest of the porphyry coffer in the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid in Egypt, or what they call the sarcophagus, right? This coffer was the only object within the King's Chamber, as the Ark was the single sacred object within the Holy of Holies in the temple. Also, the laver or basin that the priests used to wash their feet had identical cubit dimensions. So this is the theory, is that the Ark of the Covenant, which is obviously from the Bible, it's said to hold the word of God. The 10 Commandments came from it. But when you look into the Ark of the Covenant, it did pretty crazy things. It floated by itself and it led the Hebrews through the desert. They took it to several towns to show and put it on display for the people, and people who walked past and looked at it started getting what we would call radiation poisoning. Basically their hair and their nails started falling out and their teeth, and they got sick and died. And there is always this story about the Ark that you need to dress properly and cover yourself in certain oils before you can go in and see the glory of God, right? So what was this Ark? Obviously the word ark, we have an arc when we're talking about electricity, right? Like a spark gap, an arc of electricity. So is it that kind of an ark? Does it fit inside the king's or the sarcophagus of the Great Pyramid as maybe, the powering device, the key, right, that actually starts it up, that gives it the power to run? We don't actually know what's inside the ark because we haven't seen it. It's said to be held in a small temple in Ethiopia, but I haven't seen any actual evidence, any photos or video of that. And it's said to hold, the 10 Commandments, the rod of Aaron, and something else that I can't remember, but we don't know, right? Are these just metaphors? Is it holding some kind of power source in there, like radium, or is it some kind of capacitor that's working? And if it goes back inside the Great Pyramid, it will turn this whole, not just the Great Pyramid on, but the whole network. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And you may have seen this sort of popped up during the week. And this is the Sunstreak project, which is a CIA project that was linked to the Stargate project. And this was to do with remote viewing. And in here we have a session summary. And this is for a remote viewer, and they give them a target. They don't really tell them what it is, but this is training target 0209 is the Ark of the Covenant. So they've asked the remote viewer to go for target 0209, and they've stated that is the Ark of the Covenant. And this is what the remote viewer has come back with. The target is a container. This container has another container inside of it. The target is fashioned of wood, gold, and silver. The target is similar in shape to a coffin and is decorated with seraphim, which are angels. And it says this target is located somewhere in the Middle East, as the language spoken by individuals present seem to be Arabic. Visuals of surrounding buildings indicate the presence of mosques and domes. The target is hidden underground. Dark and wet were all aspects of the location of the target. And it says the purpose of the target is to bring people together. It has something to do with ceremony, memory, homage, and the resurrection. There is an aspect of spirituality, information, lessons, and historical knowledge far beyond what we know. The target is protected by entities and can only be opened by those who are authorized to do so. This container will not and cannot be opened until the time is deemed correct. Once it is time to open the container, the mechanics of the lock system will be found to be fairly simple. Individuals opening the container by prying or striking are destroyed by the container's protectors through the use of a power unknown to us. So that's a pretty interesting little description of the Ark, what someone saw as the Ark, a remote viewer. So I'll leave the link for this as well in the description so you can have a look through the whole thing. Basically the writing, then lots of the sketches he's made and notes. But this is from the CIA Gov. So it's the CIA. So they've been hunting for the lost Ark of the Covenant. So is this all is this all related? All this information coming out about orbs, the plasma that we've seen in the sky. Then we have this, obviously, this announcement about the pyramid and stuff being found underneath it. And we have, the Chinese have confirmed that there's a plasma bubble on top of the Great Pyramid, denoting something to do with energy. And then we have the story of the Ark of the Covenant. Is it the power source for the Great Pyramid of Giza? And is that what the CIA are looking into to maybe, get control of it, right? So that they stop the pyramid being turned on. Because obviously if it's something good, which I think we all sort of have the feeling that it is, some kind of free energy or, some kind of ether energy machine, then obviously the controllers, the L-ites, would not want us to have control of that device. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Is all this related? Is this soft disclosure? Is, something big coming, and is that big thing got to do with the old energy grid being turned back on? All the pyramids, all the star forts, all the cathedrals, all the ley lines and everything. Is this all going to get powered back up again? And do we need the Ark of the Covenant in the sarcophagus in the King's Chamber to do that? What do you think? Let me know. All right. Well, thanks for spending some time with me. Hope you enjoyed that one. Please do give me a like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And I'll talk to you all on the next upload. Bye for now.
Remember, in the end, nobody wins unless everybody wins. Come on!